The Cleveland Browns signed Deshaun Watson knowing exactly what was going on and knowing that these other accusations were out there. They took the risk and they decided to sign Deshaun Watson regardless. And the Cleveland Browns' response to the Deshaun Watson suspension is honestly as tone deaf and as Brownsy as you would think. Here's the direct quote from the Haslams. This is their statement. Quote, throughout this process, Deshaun and his representatives have abided by the newly created and agreed upon process for the NFLPA and the NFL to defer to the objective judge, Sue Robinson, to comprehensively review all information and make a fair decision. Went on to say, we respect Judge Robinson's decision and at the same time empathize and understand that there have been many individuals triggered throughout this process. Okay, let's finish this off. We know what Deshaun is remorseful that this situation has caused much heartache to many, and he will continue the work needed to show that he is on and off the field, who he is on and off the field, and we will continue to support him. So that's Jimmy and Dee Haslam, the Haslams who own the Cleveland Browns, coming out with a joint statement talking about how, while they understand that this situation is triggering, while they understand that this situation has caused people harm, Deshaun's sorry. He's sorry for what he did, and we stand by him, and we support him in becoming a better person. And we're not just saying that because we just gave him $200 million guaranteed. No. We're saying that because we truly see the humanity in people. We stand by Deshaun because we believe that he's going to come out the other side of this better. And we're not just talking about it as a quarterback. Of course not. We're NFL owners. We care about people. Unless they hurt our bottom line. The Cleveland Browns, that statement from the Haslams, it not only epitomizes many of the systematic problems in the NFL very poignantly, but at the same time, it shows you that the Cleveland Browns, as talented as they might be right now on the field, right? As talented as they might be, this is the most garbage organization when it comes to the way it's run. And here's the thing. That statement for me, many of you who've been watching and listening to the show for a long time know how I feel about Dan Snyder. That was Dan Snyder-esque what they just did. That takes the cake when it comes to just comes to tone-deaf responses to real-life problems and real-life situations. That I honestly don't know. As someone who is involved in the process on the day-to-day of drafting like statements or helping with messaging and stuff like that at work, I truly do not know who in their right mind thought that writing that Deshaun Watson is sorry was a good thing to put in there. I don't know who in their right mind thought that that was an appropriate thing to say after this man has been accused of misconduct and sexual assault of all these women. Whoever you are that wrote this tone-deaf response, you don't deserve to work in comms, PR, front office, whatever you do. You don't, because you're obviously not good at your job. And this really goes to the question of, should the Browns have signed Deshaun Watson to begin with? Because what are the Browns right now? We know for at least the first 6 games of the year, they're not going to have this guy they just invested $200 million in. For the first 6 games of the year, they're going to have Jacoby Brissett under center. I love Jacoby Brissett. He's not a franchise quarterback. He's not a starting quarterback. He's a backup. It is what it is. Love Jacoby. Come on the show one day. But don't miss me with that whole, oh, well, but after that, he's going to be good. The dude didn't play football last year. And there's no guarantees that Deshaun Watson is going to finish out this year either, especially with this legal process starting out. So, because sometimes illegal things go on a dime. Who knows? But should the Browns have signed him? Absolutely not. We're learning that. Here's the thing. Of all the teams that could have taken a shot at Deshaun, given his talent, right? Let's say there were teams that were willing to, well, there obviously were, but let's say teams are willing to forego and forget about everything else. Just look at it from a football move and a risk-reward situation. Who's the team that has the most need at that position, who's willing to risk it all because they don't got shit else anyway? There are so many more teams out there. The Seahawks, the Saints. There were so many more quarterback desperate teams that could have done this. The Cleveland Browns had a guy in Baker Mayfield who had them in the playoffs, who had them winning a playoff game last year, who had them almost being they almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs, people. And that was with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. I'm not saying it's because of Baker Mayfield, but it was with Baker Mayfield. And then they let him go out and play injured for almost the entire season last year and expect good things to happen. The Browns got in their own way with that situation, and they got in their own way with this signing. They just gave $200 million to a guy who definitely does not deserve to play in the NFL at this point, but at the end of the day, long-term might not end up playing in the NFL. At least he might be suspended indefinitely at another point. And that tone-deaf statement from the Haslams, that tone-deaf response from the Haslams shows you exactly what the Browns are and what a lot of these NFL owners are. They don't care about who is hurt. They don't care about who is affected. All they care about is winning football games. The Haslams made their choice with Deshaun Watson. They made their bed with it. Now they got to sleep in it. Like, it is triggered, right? They're like, oh, we understand this is triggered. Oh, come on. Laughable response from the Browns, but also an appropriate response considering the joke of a franchise they have been and will continue to be. You know what? I didn't have one ready this week, but I inadvertently did it. My snowflake of the week, the Haslams. There you go, fellas. Hey everyone, we hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Until next time, keep it real.